ABC 13 Eyewitness News at 11 starts now.
The best thing that you can do right now is prepare as if Laura is going to come this way.
We need to watch out and be prepared. Local officials preparing for potential evacuations as tropical storms Marco and Laura make their way into the Gulf. The big concern, of course, lies with Laura. Marco just might be a pretty good rainstorm. Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott issued a state disaster declaration for 23 counties. This is the map of those counties. Look at that, all along the coast. Almost all of them coastal. You can see Bexar County is also included because it will shelter evacuees if needed.
And we've got some stunning new video to show you of hurricane hunters taking off to fly straight into tropical storm Marco. Now, actually, this is them still on the ground. They're heading into the storm to gather weather data for the National Hurricane Center, including temperature, wind speed, wind direction, humidity, and surface pressure. And maybe later on we can show you them actually flying into the clouds. And in Jamaica, these are streets flooded as Laura made its way through the Caribbean. You can see there what a mess. This is video from the country's capital city. So far, Tropical Storm Laura has killed at least 11 people in the Dominican Republic and in Haiti. And a good Monday morning to you as we all watch the skies to see when these storms are rolling through. I'm Melanie Lawson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Art Rascone. Let's get straight to meteorologist Rachel Bryars, who has the very latest track. Something we are all interested in, both Marco and Laura. Rachel?
Yeah, we've been watching this very closely. Each time we've been getting updates, we've been watching the models. Here's the latest on what is happening with Tropical Storm Marco. Right now, Marco is about 50 miles offshore of Louisiana, and it is actually expected to make landfall as we head into this afternoon. Very close, I would say, to New Orleans, right along really the southeastern tip of Louisiana. And then once it does move on to land, it looks like it will quickly weaken down into a tropical depression and then will continue to roll west. So we could actually see some rainfall and some scattered showers and storms as early as late Tuesday into Wednesday morning from Marco. But the one we're really focused on is Tropical Storm Laura. Laura does have the potential to strengthen into a pretty strong tropical storm and then eventually up into a hurricane as we head into the next few days. Right now, Laura is off the coast of Cuba right now with 60-mile-per-hour winds, so still a tropical storm. Once it makes its way into the Gulf as we head into Tuesday, we should know a lot more about this system at that time, but it's also going to start rapidly intensifying. Should make its way up to Category 1 status heading into Tuesday night, and then eventually will make its way up into Category 2 status as we head into Wednesday. And also, you can see the window still includes the upper Texas coast all the way over into Louisiana. We'll take a more in-depth look at what you need to know coming up.
Very good. Thank you, Rachel. And this morning, Louisiana bracing for possible impact of Marco. It's sure to happen there along the coast. Laura, back-to-back storms, of course, but Laura might be shifting east or west. We're still not sure. We'll have latest coordinates later. But some schools as well in southeast Louisiana closed this week. There is also a mandatory evacuation in Grand Isle. That is just south of New Orleans, way out in the Outer Banks of New Orleans. ABC 13 reporter Ted Oberg live now in Louisiana as the state gets ready for two possible storms here. Ted?
Art, that's the big concern. We're on Grand Isle. It's really Louisiana's only sandy beach, really a spit of land not very high above sea level. The dunes not terribly high either here. One of the big concerns, as you've said here in the last couple minutes, Marco not all that strong, but what it will do is start to push some of that water up into these communities, and then it may not have time to recede before Marco hits. We are very close to low tide here, low tide in about 2 hours, so the tide will be rising as the storm comes closer and closer to shore. It is under a mandatory evacuation here right now, has been since this weekend. We did find one fisherman, though, who is always an optimist in these situations.
We're going, as soon as the storm clears out, I mean, it's moving, we're watching on the radar. We're going to go out there and catch yellowfin tuna. When? Maybe in Marlin. Maybe today, for sure on Thursday. But today's going to be all right. Just a window of opportunity. After the first storm and before the second storm,
Art and Mel, I didn't make reservations for his fresh catch. I'm not certain he's coming back before Thursday. He brought those two storms up. Everyone here more worried about the one later this week. That includes the governor here in Louisiana, who is most concerned about not being able to move emergency crews between whatever happens today and whatever is coming Wednesday or Thursday, possibly closer to Texas than where we are right now. At this point, as I say, take a look at this beach. Absolutely empty. Most people here, it's great to see, heeding the mandatory evacuation. It is an absolute killer for this community that depends on tourist vacationers and fishermen. None of them here, few of them out on the water. That's the situation in Grand Isle, where we wait the approaching storm.
All right, Ted, thanks so much. I can see that wind whipping around pretty good out there as well. That's a brave man taken out on this day. Thank you. Well, residents in Harris and in Galveston County are being told to prepare for the possibility of evacuations. The Galveston County judge says the areas most likely to be evacuated would be the Bolivar Peninsula, of course, low-lying coastal areas through San Leon, Bay Cliff, and parts of Hitchcock and Galveston Island. Official decisions should be coming in just a matter of hours after Tropical Storm Laura clears over Cuba, and we get a better idea of what this storm is doing, where it's moving. Of course, we keep looking at different coordinates, but we'll have a better idea soon. Well, we've got some good news from the Harris County Office of Emergency Management, because they don't think our area will see as much of an impact from Tropical Storm Marco, but now Laura is a bigger concern. ABC 13 reporter Jeff Ealing is joining us live with an update. And Jeff, all weekend we were just trying to figure out which one is coming and how soon.
Which one's coming? Are both coming? They really are certainly keeping a very close eye on Laura. It is expected to be a Category 2 hurricane, but right now we don't know exactly where it's going to make landfall, and that is complicating things like the potential for evacuation orders.
There could be potential for evacuations and storm surge. So with the uncertainty of the forecast, there's a lot of questions.
Francisco Sanchez with the Harris County Office of Emergency Management says his agency cannot make a call on potential evacuations in our area until the track of Tropical Storm Laura becomes better defined. However, Houston is in the cone of uncertainty, and that means those who live in low-lying coastal areas prone to flooding need to have a plan in place now on how they'll get out should evacuations be ordered. Officials warn you will not get much notice if calls to leave are put in place.
The important thing to remember is know if you're in an evacuation zone, if and when there's a recommendation from a local official to take that action. But if you are not in an evacuation zone, stay put.
So monitor us. We'll let you know. Obviously, monitor official channels as well. Remember, because these two storms are hitting so closely back to back, if the power goes out, let's say on Marco, it's probably going to take a while for crews to restore it after Laura. So far, we don't have, they want you to have enough supplies on hand to last for several days. And you do remember Hurricane Ike, right? Well, I spent 2 weeks without power at my house. We're not saying you're going to see that sort of thing again, but you do need to start preparing now so you're not caught off guard after both of these storms come through our area. Art?
All right, very good. Thank you, Jeff. Good background there and perspective. City and county leaders now warning residents all across the area that, of course, now is the time to prepare, not when it's actually hitting. ABC 13's TJ Parker joins us now live with the message from the mayor this morning. Hello, TJ.
Yes, hi, good morning to you. City and county officials keeping a close eye on what these storms are doing. They're going to have a press conference here at the Office of Emergency Management in just a few hours, around 1 this afternoon. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner will join County Judge Lena Hidalgo and other leaders to discuss their plans for the storm. Of course, this is all happening during a pandemic. Mayor Turner has been tweeting throughout the past couple of days, asking people to get tested today and tomorrow, just in case the storm does come here. He's also asking people to keep an eye on seniors in your family and community, making sure they have enough food, water, and medicine for the week. Of course, all the essentials there. Also, to make sure for yourself you have plenty of medicine, water, obviously the essentials there, and of course, keep a stash of masks and sanitizer. COVID, obviously, still a big concern here in Houston. The mayor will be addressing all of these things along with those city and county leaders at 1 o'clock. Of course, ABC 13 will be here and bring that to you live. We're reporting live this morning at the Office of Emergency Management. I'm TJ Parker, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, TJ, I noticed the mayor there in his tweet said also patience and faith. We'll probably all need a whole lot of both of that. Thank you so much. Well, as TJ mentioned, keeping your pantry stocked is always a good idea during hurricane season in general. But with Tropical Storm Laura on an uncertain path, HEB is extending hours for people concerned about getting to the store. Starting today, most locations open at 6 a.m. and will not close until 11 p.m. That is until further notice. Now, things to keep in mind for your hurricane kit include non-perishable foods, batteries, as well as keeping those prescriptions or over-the-counter medications up to date. Also, remember the pandemic supplies like disinfectant wipes, extra masks, and hand sanitizer.
This is the time
when everyone needs to begin preparing for these oncoming hurricanes and make sure that you take action to save your lives. Remember, your life is far more valuable than your property. Your property can be replaced, your life cannot.
Strong words there by Governor Abbott. He now says also is the time to prepare, of course. These two approaching storms brewing in the Gulf. Let's get to meteorologist Rachel Bryars with the latest on where they are headed. Every 3 hours we get these updates, right, Rachel?
Yeah, we do. And so we will be updating you really throughout the entire day today. So here's basically what you need to know. It is still a possibility. It's not totally certain, but it's a possibility that we could still be dealing with a direct hit from Laura. So that's why we are preparing right now. And you want to prepare, especially as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours, especially if you're near the coast. Make sure you're pretty much done with your preparations as we head into, I would say, throughout the day on Tuesday. And also, we are going to be having all those updates during the day. We're also going to have them on ABC 13, so you will see a ton of updates coming up. So here's the latest on Tropical Storm Marco, making its way very close right now to the very southeastern portions of Louisiana. Tropical storm warning along the coast there. Then it looks like it will turn to the west, heading towards southeast Texas, bringing us a chance of rainfall heading into Wednesday. So here's Marco's timeline. First off, landfall expected today. As we head into Tuesday, it should weaken to a depression, and by Wednesday, that's when we could be looking at some gusty wind and rain making its way into southeast Texas. Now with Laura, that's the one that we're really keeping a closer eye on. Today, it's going to continue to move over Cuba. Tuesday, it looks like it's really going to start to strengthen as it moves into the Gulf, and late Wednesday into Thursday is when we could possibly be talking some impacts right here in Texas. So closer look at Laura right now over towards Cuba still. You can see all of those tropical storm warnings over Cuba as well as the Keys. Then as we head into this week, it does look like it will continue to roll into the Gulf and then eventually up towards either the upper Texas coast or over into Louisiana. So there is still some uncertainty here. We will know more as we head into, I would say, the rest of today as well as going into tomorrow, possibly though as a Category 2 hurricane. Now, what does that mean exactly? We could be looking at wind speeds coming in with Laura, depending on where it goes, between 96 to 110 miles per hour, looking at extensive damage possible. Siding and roof damage, could be looking at a lot of power outages. So that is why you want to make sure that you are going ahead and preparing. So let's take a closer look at our future track here. You can see Marco tracking up as we head into the rest of the day today. You can see Laura making its way into the Gulf. You see Marco then as we head into Tuesday, making its way into the state of Texas, bringing that chance of rainfall. And then you start to see, there you go, you start to see Laura making its way towards the coast as we head into Wednesday. We'll take a closer look at some spaghetti models and what you can expect today coming up in my full forecast.
Now is the time to download our ABC 13 app to make sure you get the very latest on the storm's path. You'll want to make sure you turn on notifications so you can get those up-to-the-minute alerts. To do that, simply click on Settings, then click on Manage Notifications. Here you can choose the notifications you want for the neighborhood where you live. But you'll want to make sure you definitely select Weather. It's as simple as that. On the app right now, we have everything you need to get ready for the storm, including the storm's latest projected path, the timing, also how to create your own hurricane prep kit, which should now have more items this year because of the pandemic.
Of course, we are staying on top of the tropics. As you look at this graphic here, you can see why. Tropical Storm Laura's projected path is somewhere in between southeast Texas and southeastern Louisiana. That's going to happen Wednesday night into Thursday morning, Category 2 hurricane. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Marco, not as concerned about that one. We'll have some, perhaps some heavy bands of rain, but that's about it. Expected to make landfall in Louisiana today. Here is a live look now out there in Galveston. Some showers popping up off the coast here and there. They are the outer bands of Marco, and it will be getting closer and closer tomorrow, and then, of course, Wednesday as well. All right, we have some breaking news to bring to you. The founder and chairman of global property giant Hines has died. Gerald Hines established his Houston-based company in 1957, incredibly influential throughout the Houston area. He was the mastermind behind several local landmarks, including One Shell Plaza, a beautiful plaza downtown, the Galleria, of course, known throughout the world, the J.P. Morgan Chase Tower, and the Williams Tower, the tallest building here in Houston. Hines died peacefully at a family home in Connecticut on Sunday. He was 95 years old, quite influential.
Yeah, he was an extraordinary man and really changed the face of Houston.
He really
quite literally.
did.
When they built the Galleria, everybody kept saying, well, that's out in the middle of nowhere. Why are you doing that? But really send out our love to his family. The Republican National Convention kicks off tonight for a 4-night mix of live and virtual events. This year's theme is Honoring the Great American Story. This week's speakers include President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. Now, unlike the DNC, the Democratic National Convention last week, the presidential nominations, seconding speeches, and roll call will all take place this morning. ABC News will kick off coverage each day at 6 p.m. online and on television, live on TV from 9 until 10 p.m. Rachel?
Well, we are taking obviously a very close look at what is happening over in the Gulf right now. We'll have a closer look at Laura and a closer look at what you can expect as we head into the next few days coming up. Well, we are continuing to keep a very close eye on what is happening over in the Gulf as well as the Caribbean right now. I want to go ahead and start off with Tropical Storm Laura. Here's a look at the latest track, and I actually want to zoom in a little bit more to show you where that cone of uncertainty is actually stretching between. So you can see it does stretch into Harris County, the very left side. But right now, Houston is outside of that. Now, does that mean we are in the clear for Houston? No, not necessarily. We still want to remain vigilant. We still want to make sure that we are preparing because this cone of uncertainty could shift as we head into the next couple of days. But it does extend into part of our area, and it also extends all the way over into Louisiana. And you can still see it is expected to become a Category 2 hurricane before making landfall heading into Wednesday night as well as into Thursday morning. So here's one of the reasons why we are seeing shifts on where that cone ends up being. Is we are looking at these models, these spaghetti models. Now you can see a lot of them are taking it right up into the very western portions of Louisiana, but you see this other model, a few of them are actually rolling it over into our area, into Houston. So again, this is why we are watching this so closely, because if we end up getting a direct hit from this, this could bring us a lot of impacts, especially if this does end up becoming a Category 2 hurricane, which it looks like it will. So that's one of the things. Just make sure you are preparing. We're going to be updating you all day long, though, on the tropics. Now I want to head back home. What's happening right now, we do have some showers and storms rolling in from the Gulf along the coast, moving up to the north right now. Storms could bring some heavy rainfall along with a lot of lightning, and we could continue to see that chance of rain, especially near the coast, heading throughout the rest of this afternoon. Now, also into this afternoon, not going to rule out a few isolated showers and storms popping as we head into the central portions of our area, but chances will be lesser than what we are going to see closer to the coast. So here's a closer look at your rain chances depending on where you are. The more north you are, the lower your rain chance. So for Houston, Columbus, Liberty, Wharton, 20% chance of rain. Closer to the coast, Galveston, the Bolivar Peninsula, Angleton, Palacios, looking at about a 40% chance of rainfall there. And here's a closer look at your next 10 days. We do have that chance of rainfall today. We have another chance heading into Tuesday. Wednesday, we could start to see some rain rolling in from Marco. Thursday is when we could be talking potential impacts from Laura. That's why we have such a high rain chance in there, 80% chance of rain. And then as we head into the rest of the week, we're going to continue to see that chance of rainfall. Could see scattered showers and storms heading into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we could continue to see the chance, a slight chance, as we head into next week. Again, we will have all these updates coming up on abc13.com and on ABC 13. We'll be right back. Well, here's a last look at the tropics. We're continuing to track very closely Tropical Storm Marco and Tropical Storm Laura. Laura currently over towards Cuba. Marco actually going to make landfall pretty soon over into parts of Louisiana. Here's what you need to know as we head into the next few days. Still a possibility that we could be looking at a direct hit from Laura. So that's still going to be a possibility. So you still want to prepare, especially as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours, and make sure you keep up with the forecast. So here's a breakdown of your Marco timeline. First off, it does look like Marco will actually make landfall in southeastern Louisiana today. Tomorrow, it should continue to track over to the west, weakening to depression status. And then also with Laura, it's possible we could see impacts. If we happen to see impacts, it looks like we could see them late Wednesday into Thursday. So now is the time to prepare.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very good. Thank you, Rachel. Now, of course, as these storms shift, you just keep it right here on your ABC 13 News app. We will have all the updates for you.
Yeah, our meteorologists obviously following this all. They'll get a new update on the storms at 1 p.m. We'll send you an alert if there's anything you need to know. Actually, we'll just send you an alert. We'll see you later today.